Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers.
I can't tell you how excited I am to be on right now. It's been a couple of weeks of excitement, getting prepared, and I've done a lot of things in my life, but this has got to be close to the top.
Thank you, Reader's Magnet, and thank you, John, for putting this forth and taking the chance on us authors in presenting this out to the world.
I've enjoyed this immensely, Joanne.
Ellie, so have I. Thank you for who you are, and thank you, Reader's Magnet. You all are beautiful, and you've worked so very hard, and we are blessed.
We are.
I thank everybody that's involved with this process, because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers. We thank Reader's Magnet and everybody that's involved. I love Reader's Magnet. They say, we share your stories with the world.
Hi, everybody. It's good to be back with you again today. My name is Lynda Daniele, and I am the author of these two little books. One is called Grandpa Nick the Conductor, about my husband and my son who were trolley operators at a local trolley museum in my area. And also this little book, this was the first one, Grandpa Nick's Bump. And this is about the four little children who live across the street from us, who one day when they discovered that they didn't have a grandfather, they came over and asked my husband if he would be their grandfather. And he said, of course. So he would love to do that. And so from there, unfortunately, about 4 months or so later, after the children asked him to be their grandfather, he passed away. So this is that story. This book, Grandpa Nick's Bump, is true. It's a true story. And then this one is based on truth because they really were trolley operators, my husband and my son, but I kind of enhanced the truth just a little bit. So I added a few things that really didn't happen. So some of it is true and some of it's not true. And I thought today that I would do something maybe a little bit different. I hadn't read too much from Grandpa Nick the Conductor, and mostly because there's a surprise in it, and I don't want to give the surprise away. That's part of it. But before I do that, I want to thank Reader's Magnet for having this platform for all of the authors. I really, truly appreciate this, and that everybody has worked so hard. This is going so well. Yesterday, I had a chance to look at some of the other authors as well that are also presenting their books, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot doing that. So, this is a fun time. It's a fun time, but it also has been a lot of work for everybody. So I want to thank Reader's Magnet for that. Also, I want to tell folks that tomorrow on Saturday at 12:30, I'm honored to be the author of the hour. And I would love to have you be able to come and see my little presentation. And also, if there's anything that anybody has a question about my books, that would be fine. I'd be happy to be able to answer those. And for today, if you have any questions or comments, if you want to write them over here in the chat on the computer, that would be really good. And I'll try to answer anything that I can. Yesterday, I was not able to see the chat, but I did, if you look back at yesterday's video, I did go back and I answered some of the questions afterwards. I did type that in. So if anybody still has any questions from yesterday, they can go on yesterday's post and they will be able to see that. So here's the conductor, and Grandpa Nick always had a pencil in his ear because of being an engineer. And he also had a slide rule in his pocket. I don't know if you remember what slide rules are. He was really fast at the slide rule, as fast as a computer. And it was just an instrument that engineers use all the time. And he could do math really, really, it's like a ruler. And he could do math really, really fast on it. He was really good at it. So, but here's the conductor story. And one of the things that I do in my books, and I followed through with both of them, and on the third book I'm writing, I'm also going to have it be part of it, is the children have to find the little Holy Spirit dove. And the reason for that is, and I said it here, the Holy Spirit is always with us. Can you find him throughout the book? We are never alone. God gives us his Holy Spirit. All of us have the Holy Spirit, and we're never alone. And that's one of the things I wanted the children to be able to find the little bird, the little dove. Even if the dove is hiding a little bit, they have to kind of search, because sometimes we have to search for the Holy Spirit. And but he's always there, always there. So, and I dedicated this book to the strength of gentleness and the goodness of compassion, because Grandpa Nick was both good and compassionate. And strength doesn't always have to be muscles and being tough and things like that. Strength can also be gentleness. That is certainly a wonderful strength to have, to be gentle. So I'm just going to read a little bit in the beginning here. And here is the trolley barn. And in my other posts, I explained how the artwork was done. I had drawn some little pictures. I can't draw, but I had drawn some little pictures and of what I wanted, and with instructions. And the Reader's Magnet artists, who are wonderful, they did that. They did the actual drawings for me, but they did it exactly the way I wanted them to do it. And I think I had said before that I did not do the like silent movie screen with the words here. They came up with that, which I was really, really happy about. And if I can get it over here, here's the little, where's Dubby? Nope, I'm on the wrong side. Oh, I never get this right. Dubby is over here. There's the Holy Spirit on this page. He's flying around. Okay. It was a very cold day when Grandpa Nick arrived with his 14-year-old son, Anthony. Anthony asked, "Dad, how do we get her out of the barn? The doors are frozen." "Let's see if we can pull them a little," said Grandpa Nick. Pulling as hard as they could, the doors popped open to a black, greasy, oily, smelly, and totally grungy trolley barn. Grandpa Nick, using his trusty flashlight, made his way to the back of the barn. In the corner, his flashlight caught sight of a green and gold shiny surface. There were gold letters with black trim saying, "Pearl Mountain Number 3. "There's the pearl," Grandpa Nick exclaimed. Anthony found the light switch and turned on the barn lights. He heard a scurrying in the corner that startled him a little. Mice, he thought, and went to help Grandpa Nick. Grandpa Nick found the large bronze trolley key and hung it in the corner over the brake wheel. "Let's not lose that key," Grandpa Nick mumbled to himself. Again, Anthony heard a scurry in the corner. "That sounds like an awful big mouse to me. Dad, what do you think that was?" "I don't know, maybe a rat or something," said Grandpa Nick. "Can you hand me that wrench over there?" "Sure, Dad," answered Anthony. There was a whining cry, and Grandpa Nick put down his wrench and said, "Okay, that's it. Where and what are you?" They both whipped out their flashlights, and the search began. "Don't trip on the rails, Dad," shouted Anthony. Grandpa Nick had big work boots on, and he tended to be a bit klutzy. So, and this is a picture of the Pearl Mountain #3. The 3 is kind of stuck in the binding, but that is the trolley. And if you notice, the little dove, the Holy Spirit bird, is in the window. All right, and we have the poles up here. The poles are here for the electricity, because you know how trolleys go. They have the electric wires on top, and then they have poles, and you hook the poles up to that wire, and that's where the energy comes from to run it. So that part is I can't tell you what's scurrying, but there's something in that trolley barn. Okay, and then let's just see if we can find another little page here. All right, let's try this one. One day, Grandpa Nick had visitors at the trolley barn. They wanted to see what a real trolley barn looked like and how those mechanical machines go. That was Grandpa Nick's favorite question. He would talk and talk and talk a long time about trolleys. Grandpa Nick asked his new friends, "Would any of you like a black and white kitten?" He introduced them to the 4 little yins while Mama Yin was off hunting. One of the men mentioned that he had 4 children, and perhaps he could take one of the kittens for them. "I'll have to ask my wife, but I'll get back to you soon," offered the man. "Oh, sure," agreed Grandpa Nick. So here are the people, and they're trying to figure out what to do. There's some little kitties there. And Grandpa Nick has a big thumbs up. And these two over here, whoops, up here, they don't seem to want to have anything to do with kittens. Mm-mm. And actually in the artwork, I have to tell you that my son has a dear friend, John. And this is John. He looks like a biker dude. So we had fun with this. We really did have fun with this. And so that's part of the Grandpa Nick story. Let's see here. And here's a picture of, if I can get it right, my son and my husband as trolley operators. That was a different event that we had. And there is the 3 of us all together. And I love that picture because I don't have very many pictures of us together, actually. So they're both in their trolley uniforms. And it was just, I remember that day. It was really a fun day. And I think Anthony, my son, was probably about 16 years old when that picture was taken. They're old pictures now. As my son just turned 40. So, and I'm hoping next week to have Anthony and some of the children in the story. I'm hoping to have them here so that you can all meet them as well. If you have anything that you would like to type in the chat, please do so, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. And again, right now, if there is any chat, I can't see it on my screen. So if anything comes up, please feed that to me. So the other thing that I have been working on quite a bit is the Model A story, and I had mentioned this, I think, before. I'm working on a book called Grandpa Nick and the Model A: The Adventures of Grandpa Nick and the Model A. And the Model A is it's a Ford car from the Ford company. And let's see if I can get a nice example. It looks something like that. Okay. And my family and I have a 1931, so it's like 90 years old, car, and it's registered as a regular car. It's not registered as an antique. It still runs. And all over the course of many years that we owned this car, we're only the second owner, which is really something. This is about the adventures that we had as a family, taking the car, and over the years we named the car Nellie. So this is a little story that I'm working on right now. This would be my third book, and I thought I would share a little part of it as well. And this is when we went up to Mount Washington, and the old cars were actually built so that they could go over, big ruts in the road and mud and all sorts of things like that, because back in 1931, they didn't have as many paved roads like we do. We have highways and everything, but they didn't have all of that then. So this is part of that story. And the voice, the person talking, is the car. And throughout this third book, it will only be the car talking. And she's very sassy. She's young, and she's kind of sassy, and her name is Nellie. And again, this is just in paper form. This is a draft. This is something that I'm working on, but I thought it might be kind of fun for you to hear. So this is about Nellie the car, and Nick and Anthony and I, Grandpa Nick and Anthony and I, going up Mount Washington and what happens. My family decided to take a vacation in New Hampshire to climb a very big mountain. It was quite a drive, and I heard them asking if I could get to the top. Now the I is the car. Okay. So let me say that again. It was quite a drive, and I heard them asking if I could get to the top. Of course, I said to myself. I can climb anything and go down anything in my super first gear. I was made for rough roads, after all. What could they be thinking? They should know that. Washed and polished, we started on our way to a place called Mount Washington. I was so happy to have my family all together in me. We stopped from time to time to get water for me by streams. Nicky Nick scooped up water for my radiator in a large old white vinegar bottle, and then off we went. We traveled a little slower than we usually do because deer were everywhere. There could be a moose in the woods by the side of the road, too. I'm on the lookout for critters. We arrived at a lovely old white inn and checked in for the night. They brought tickets to climb the mountain tomorrow. Nicky Nick had to check me over to make sure I was ready for tomorrow's adventure. Engine check, oil check, water check, gas check, tire check. All checks in a good box, he said. I knew I was ready. I could have told him that. Morning came, and Anthony was so excited. It was a picture postcard day. It couldn't have been more perfect. We started up gravel road with a little grade at first, and then the grade got steeper and steeper pretty fast. Woo, I said to myself, this is going to be something. Lynda said, Nick, there's no railing here. Yep, I know, he exclaimed. First gear, here we come, I thought. Come on, old girl, you can make it, Nicky Nick yelled. Anthony was on the edge of his seat to see the view. Man, Dad, this is so cool, awesome. We're going into the clouds here, Anthony bellowed. The road disappeared for a minute as we went through a cloud. I'm glad I'm so strong and I can ram up this road. The cloud cleared and we all felt better. I'm glad there were huge rocks placed on the side of the road. Finally, we made it to the top, and the view was so beautiful. It was such a clear day we could see for lots and lots of miles. They visited the weather station, got some snacks, and took tons of pictures of me. I do look pretty good, I told myself. Chugga chugga, lots of lava. Everybody in? Nicky Nick said. We sure are, said Lynda. I hope we get down this thing, Lynda exclaimed. Oh, we'll be just fine. I'm in my strong gear, I chuckled to myself. Here we go. Nicky Nick held my steering wheel with a firm grip and tried not to burn out the brakes by using my engine. Oh, it took all my strength to slow down my engine. On a few corners, I didn't think I'd hold the road, but I did. Oh, Nellie, you're doing great, old girl, Nicky Nick yelled. I know. I was made for this, I whispered. The grade of the road started to get better, and I got to coast to a stop down in the parking lot. Phew, we did it, he said with a smile in his eyes. Nicky Nick patted me on the fender and said, Fun day, old girl. One for the books. I didn't understand what books he was talking about, but I was so happy that he was happy too. And that's all I'm going to read about the adventures of Grandpa Nick and the Model A, because one, I still have to do a lot more work on it, and two, I want to leave something for you to read. But it's been fun going through all the different things that we did as a family with our 1931 Model A coupe. We really truly did have a fun time. The other thing that I thought I would do, and I can't believe it, I only have about 6 minutes left. I took the summer off this past summer, and I decided to just dedicate the summer to writing. So I took a full 8 weeks off, and I worked on some poetry. And this is one of the poems that I did, and I'm hoping down the road, maybe 2 years or so, to have a book of poetry. So I have the children's books, which are, happy and more geared toward children. But this is more of an adult little poem, and I thought I would share it with you. I still don't see any chat. If you have any chat, please, send it over to me. I'd love to be able to interact with folks. And if there's anyone that would like to just ask me a question or have a comment, please just let me know. So again, this is draft form. This is not in a book yet. And it's called The Hutch. And there really is a hutch in my house. I'm actually writing about a actual piece of furniture, that I have. Okay, so the hutch. The key was missing, and I looked everywhere for it. It wasn't under the couch or by the stained glass lamp in the old ashtray. All the knickknacks were locked safely inside the clawfoot hutch. Treasures from relatives and friends past, curved glass on both ends with beautiful oak wood and 100-year-old varnish that smelled like an ancient library. Looking through a reflection of white curtains through its glass, I see great-grandma's hand-painted ceramic plates and teacups, where many tea leaves were read and futures discussed. Not read by gypsies and babushkas, but by English elites at social gatherings after parlor concerts on velvet-covered upright pianos, cigars smoldering, and sheet music penciled in with chord changes. There were dark red oriental tapestries and room dividers. What memories this hutch contains. Gifts from aunts and uncles with Christmas ornaments and children's first-grade artwork, modeled airplanes and forgotten war medals with obituary cards. Stuffed in the hutch corner were tiny hand-blown glass seahorses and a pink swan left over from exhibitions past. Memories of Cape Cod band concerts in Chatham with balloons and trumpet players in uniform. The key was found safely tucked in couch cushions. Its brass reminds me of mass bells at the cathedral or ship bells on some grand ocean liner. I opened the hutch to the smell of varnish, like the pews of an old church. Buried behind many old trinkets were crystal goblets from my wedding and the Bible I carried with a white handkerchief with embroidered lavender on it. Thinking about all these memories was like a toast raised for a well-lived life, filled with joys and sorrows, friends and family. In opening the hutch door, I entered a world of dreams and possibilities, some yet to be attained. C'est la vie. So that's the hutch. And I think I just have, there's like, according to my little clock here, it's like just 2 minutes left. And again, if you have any chat, I would love to see that. But also, if any comes in later, I will try to answer that on my booth. My books can be, you can get my books at Barnes and Noble, Amazon. You can also get them at Books A Million, any place where books are sold, really. And I think it's on the scroll, but this is my little website that you can contact me on as well, ldanielebooks.com. And this, I think that they would be pretty good Christmas presents. You know, the holidays are coming up. I can't believe that, but they really, truly are. So this is Grandpa Nick the Conductor and Grandpa Nick's Bump. Okay, and tomorrow, again, I will be here at 12:30 to see you, and it will be the author of the hour, and I will not be here. I will not be here tomorrow at 4:30 though. I'll just be here for 12:30 for the author of the hour, and I won't be here for the 30th or the 31st of October. But I will be here November 1st through the 6th at 4:30. So that's every day I'll be here. And I hope I have a chance to be able to see you and talk to you a little bit about writing in general. If you have any questions, please let me know. But I've enjoyed this time together so much, and this really is fun. And again, thank you so much for Reader's Magnet for allowing the authors to be the presenters on this. Usually it's the publishing company that is doing that, but this is just so nice that we're able to have the authors have their own platform. So unless there's any other questions, or if anything in the chat, I'd be happy to answer. But so I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 12:30 on Saturday, and we'll see you then. Take care and God bless. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.